Are you keeping beat?
No, with me as always is Garth, remember?
I've met him once.
Who?
Garth.
Really?
Didn't like him.
I watched a porn movie the other day, and the star's name was Girth Brooks.
Girth Brooks is a good name.
That's a great porn name.
Garth Brooks, Girth Brooks.
Girth Brooks. And he had it.
See, when you said Garth, I was thinking of Wayne and Garth.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking at the beginning.
Oh, okay. Now
but
we
then
changed.
because we were talking about Garth, and suddenly I remembered, hey, I watched a porn movie.
Is he the only guy named Garth ever? I've never met another Garth. Well, I never met that Garth either, but...
Garth from Wayne's World, Garth Brooks. No,
that's it.
There's got to be other Garths.
We put a block on that name right after that.
No, there's other Garths.
You know what there is out there, though? There's a Punisher. Have you heard about the Punisher recently?
Yeah.
What about him?
We have a friend named Punisher.
Okay, not that one. Not the dead one.
The TV show Punisher?
Nah, not the TV one.
I don't know that.
All right, the Punisher is the guy that Diddy was hiring to fuck his ex. And then after he came in her and on her, she would take his cum and rub it on Diddy's nipples. That was the bombshell that was released while we were gone.
No way.
Oh, yeah, dude. Diddy's into some weird shit. Now, we've always kind of heard about this Diddy weird shit
Wait.
but now it's coming out in court.
When Diddy was with her, he would pay a guy to fuck her, come all over.
Diddy was definitely a cuck. Definitely 100% a cuck. Now, this particular story, and this guy just gave, this was all in the court recently. So, I mean, this is real now. You know, it's testimony. This guy came on. I don't know his actual name, but his go-to name was the Punisher, right? And a big black guy. I haven't seen his dick, but you can imagine.
I can only imagine.
You could probably, if you're like a go-go guy and that's your
like
nickname.
the stunt cock, yeah.
Yeah, you're probably packing something there. But anyhow, he's like located in Miami, and Diddy would, I guess, go down there, or he'd hire him to come different places just to fuck his girl. Now, we've heard about these freak-offs, whatever, for a while now. Yeah. They're not sounding as freaky. They sound just like your Tuesday nights. Like, they don't sound that fucking...
The only difference is I didn't fucking, lie to somebody to get them to do it, that I didn't hold them against their will.
Again, we're not at that part of the trial, and maybe that part happens, all right? But at this part of the trial, it's just that girl that he was with for 10 years, and it was always just them, and then, like, he'd hire a dude to fuck her, basically. And it was always just like a Craigslist prostitute kind of guy. It wasn't like some special thing.
Yeah.
And then he found the ones that he liked, obviously, and kept. The Punisher. The Punisher was only made, I think the guy said only like $1,200, $1,500, which... You know, you would think a high-priced whore would be a little bit more than that, especially if a P. Diddy's paying it. But then, if I'm the Punisher, and if you've seen Cassie's beautiful. Like, I'd do that for free. What do you mean? You're going to give $1,500? But the reason he stopped going, he said he kind of got freaked out. He didn't know this whole time that it was P. Diddy. Still didn't know until like later.
Oh, because P. Diddy wasn't sitting there during.
He was there during. He wore a full, like, hijab, like a Muslim lady thing. He was butt naked. With a face mask on, and he'd be stroking his dick in the corner, but he wouldn't get involved. He would, tell her what to do, tell him what to do, jerking off in the corner, completely butt-ass naked, wearing that. And then afterwards, she would have to, like, take the cum or whatever, this guy, and Diddy loved getting the cum rubbed on him. Yes, and the whole time she had to be, like, massively oiled up. He was really into oil. Like, they just kept that, like, microwaved. She had to, like, she was saying, like, every, like, 10 minutes they re-oil everything, and... He was super into that, but that's really all that's been released so far. And don't get me wrong.
Early.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, like, that's kind of crazy. They'll come on the nipple rubbing, but like when you hear these freak offs, you're thinking, fucking Dennis Rodman is there. All these people are here.
I think those are happening
and these
too.
Are big fuck parties.
I think when they start subpoena some of these other people, when these other people start appearing, they're going to say, "Oh yeah, he did this too." Because I guarantee if he does this thing with the Punisher and all that. There's other freaky shit. Well, this is just stuff on the side.
Maybe, yeah. And again, this was with this girl, and she was...
Well, because the accusations came from girls who claimed they were held against their will and stuff. That is yet to be coming out in court.
Again, like her, she said she took a lot of drugs, during that period. Like, he was always giving her drugs and stuff. But, I mean, they're showing text and stuff back and forth where she's like, I love the freak off. When are we going to do it again? Shit like that. Like, she seemed... From that point, a willing participant. I mean, he did beat the shit out of her. We can't hide that.
That was the one he kicked on the floor.
Yeah, that was the girl he beat the shit out of. And there was multiple people that came in and said that, there was times where he beat the shit out or do that. So he definitely abused her. I don't think they're going to go through this whole thing just for domestic abuse charges, though.
Well, no, because...
So they're going for something bigger.
There's 20 people that claim that they were held against their will.
Yeah, we'll see.
They just haven't come
Just saying,
yet.
this is the very beginning of this trial, I guess. Yeah. But it's been going on for like 2 weeks at this point.
Yeah, but you gotta. I mean, something like this is going to take months.
But
months.
the freakiest thing so far is the cum on the nipples, and he was really into peeing on her and peeing in her mouth and stuff, and having the other guy pee in her mouth, and lots of pee play going on.
A lot of pee play.
That sounds to me again. I feel like this goes on 4 houses down, and no one cares.
Well, yeah,
you know what
but
I mean? So,
like I said,
it's just a matter if he actually.
They can't.
People and not
they
let
can't
them loose.
do all the witnesses in 2 weeks. You're going to start getting the people making the accusations. Believe me, they're not taking this to court for the Punisher fucking his wife and rubbing cum on his nipples.
Well, let's get this freak show going. I'm ready for it. All right, we got a taste here of the Punisher. Diddy got a taste of the nipple cum. That's gross as shit. I don't know what he's up to. The rumor is that, and the Punisher didn't I guess they didn't ask him on the stand. Like, how big is Diddy's Diddy?
Oh, was the Punisher on the stand?
Yes, the Punisher's there, dude. Punisher is there, just telling what happened. He got subpoenaed like anybody else, I guess, would. He didn't seem like bitter or anything.
No, but I bet
he said he was just gross. It reminded me of you because he's like, at first I was just uneasy of him being there, and then he's like, and then I was a little bit more uneasy when he jerked off. Stuff like that. And he's like, but then
me and the Punisher,
he kind of cut it off after he found out she was rubbing the cum on him and stuff. That's what threw him over.
And that's like me.
Sounds like you. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
this whole
because
time,
when the guy said, "Hey, I want to go down on her when you're done," I'm like, I don't want to see that. Yeah. I don't want to be in the room.
And the Punisher wasn't in the room. Apparently, she would leave. They both leave. And I guess she told him, I don't know how he found out. I'm half in, half out on these kind of things. I can't be paying attention all day to the Diddy trial. But
before this thing even went to charges and stuff, they were interviewing hundreds of people who claims the shit he did. So that just hasn't come out.
Well, there's a lot of hearsay and shit too. Who knows? That's what I mean. That's why I'm.
Well, what I'm saying is the U.S. grand jury is not going to take this thing to fucking trial with Diddy. With just a Punisher.
No,
there's a lot of shit coming.
Yeah, it's like all they've really proven so far is that he's hired a couple prostitutes to fuck his wife, and he used to beat the shit out of her occasionally, which, again, not a good thing, but they're not going to do a federal court for domestic abuse.
Well, so no, I mean, most of that shit's going to come from the girls who say they were hired and flown across the country and shit like that.
Well, I mean, technically, though, again, if you're hiring the Punisher from Miami and you're hiring him to come up, and they did a lot of the fucking...
You said they went to Miami.
Well, sometimes. He said he fucked her in a couple different states. He said a couple of them are in Trump Towers. He said that on purpose.
That's
I think
the charge.
I think so, but I still don't think that's it.
No, there's got to be more because there's 20 women making accusations.
That's what I mean. There has to be more.
You haven't heard from them yet. Is it who goes first, the prosecution or the defense?
I believe the prosecution.
Okay, so
the prosecution's witnesses, anyways.
Yeah, so they've just started.
Yeah,
so they've got.
And that Cassie girl witnesses. Went a long time, and they're still basically on her.
And was she saying he beat shit out of me and stuff like that?
I mean, they got that video at the hotel. There's no real questions.
But see, the thing about it is, my question is,
she had other people come in and they talk about other times he beat the shit out.
When all the shit started, and they're like, okay, they're going to be charging this, and they've done 100 investigations. How many people in that time has Diddy fucking paid off? Hey, here's $1 million. Don't say a fucking word. You know what I mean?
Well,
Some of those witnesses might not,
of course,
show up. Of
course, there has to be so many sweating celebrities out there too.
Oh yeah,
God, I hope.
I guarantee these freakouts were weird. Now the thing about it is, I think, me.
I think they're just swinger parties, basically. The only question is were they drugged up girls that didn't want to be there?
That's the whole question.
I mean? Like, if they were just everybody wanting to get fucked up and have a swinger party,
hey, I'm all for that.
Yeah, well, it's not my problem. You know what I mean?
But it all is going to come down to these women saying, I tried to leave, he wouldn't let me. I thought I was going to fuck him. Next thing you know, 5 of his buddies came in and fucked me.
Take away, if all the girls were of age on the Epstein Island, we would have never heard about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, we would have, because these girls said that they were hired as servers, as maids or whatever, and then when they got there, oh, by the way, you can't leave till you fuck all these guys to get ready to show
If that's the case, and they were actually held hostage.
And that's exactly what's going to happen here.
Fucking jerked off Steve Bannon on a fucking...
Yeah, and these women are going to say, well, no, I thought I was going to have sex with Diddy. Because one girl said that she thought she was going to fuck him, and all of a sudden 3 of his buddies walked in, and they all fucking ran a train on her. That
ain't
she
no
didn't
fun
want.
if your homies can't have none. I've heard about it.
Yeah, she didn't want any part of that. So, yeah, this is going to get weird. He's going to go in for a while.
Well, it's already got a little weird when you got the Punisher fucking stroking on some nips
and
stuff. We got cum nips.
I think if there's any way we can get the Punisher to listen to this show, he's going to find him and I are the same guy.
No, I think you and the Punisher need to hook up and have a conversation.
Because I tell you, the first time I was a little uneasy, a guy sitting there in a nightgown, and all that stuff. But anytime it came to, then he's going to come over and fucking eat my box after you nutted it, I'm like, I'm out. You know what I mean? Not my thing.
I feel like the Punisher could give you some tips because we're talking about a professional cuck. You've never got paid money.
No.
You know what I mean? He's getting paid big dough by celebrities to fuck their wives.
Yeah, but he's posting ads.
Is he?
If I posted an ad.
I don't know how did he post
Well,
an
he
ad?
said he found him on somewhere. He found him somewhere and charged him money.
It was Craigslist.
And charged him money.
Well, Craigslist isn't an ad, but I get it.
But I guarantee if I was to post an ad on one of these, somebody would message me.
And I bet
hey, you want your wife fucked really hard?
I bet you that it probably wasn't. That wasn't the ad. You know, I'm fucking your wife. That probably wasn't.
Well, back when Craigslist had the pervert stuff, it probably was.
Could have been.
Oh yeah, they used to have really raunchy ads.
Okay, never mind.
Hey, any guys out there want their cock sucked while my wife eats your butt? Those are all there. And then Craigslist came in and said, "No, we're about selling shit and blah blah blah. We're taking all this down." Actually, the federal government came in and took it down.
Fucking government. The government always gets everything.
Because it was public. You didn't have to join. You know what I mean? If it's a private thing and you say, okay, I got to be a member, I've got to at least have a profile on this thing. What are those peaches? Those peaches look like nice asses.
those peaches look like. No, I was gonna say, you know, Diddy at one point rubbing cum on his nipples, and everybody knows where cum comes from.
A man's balls
out of the wiener. You know, well, yeah, it originates in the balls. The wiener. Apparently, scientists. Now, this is why we can't like defund things like Harvard and shit, because these scientists are working hard out there. All right.
Yeah, I saw this shit going on at Harvard.
And apparently they found out that that none of my shit works. God damn it, this doesn't work like it was supposed to. But you know, fuck. All right. Well, anyhow, you guys can kind of see, not really. The first buttholes might have been for sperm instead of poop. How would you have had sex? I'm trying to figure this out. I mean, when the world first started and the first organisms came out, the asshole was actually the male sex organ. Now,
that's not true.
Well, and I think this is why that you should have to believe in evolution, because right off the bat, you know, we came out with the old cum ass. And we're trying to get things pregnant, and I guess we couldn't, so they had to evolve into growing a dick.
Oh, no, it says it was originally a reproductive hole.
Yes.
Which means you fucked the females in the ass, and they got pregnant.
That's not what that says at the top. That says the first buttholes might have been for sperm instead of poop. I guess for sperm inside.
Yes, guys come in the buttholes.
You know what I thought? I was looking because you don't put poop in the butthole.
No, that's what they're saying. They're saying that women got fucked in the butt, and female animals got fucked in the butt and got pregnant. That's what they're claiming.
All right. Well, I guess I'm a little bit more.
Now go back to those peaches. Now let's say hypothetically those were asses. This is a good, legitimate question. There's 3 types of cracks. You got the little short one on the left.
No one can see this.
I'm asking you, though.
Okay.
And guys can relate to this. Mm-hmm. Some cracks are longer than others.
Very true.
There's a short one on the left that barely goes up past the asshole. Mm-hmm. There's a medium one on the right, and then there's a long one in the middle. I prefer the medium. I don't like the ones where the crack goes up to the small of their back.
Not a fan.
But I'm also not a fan of the little short ones.
Yeah, they are.
That have no extra room.
There's a pretty little butthole.
I'm going with the medium one on the right, although it looks gaping. I'm still going with the medium on the right. The short cracks that only go up to like here. Mm-hmm. Ooh, those creep me out a little bit.
Nah,
I think they're used to have a tail.
That butthole, and it is amazing how much these look like asses. But
they do.
Yeah, the butthole on the right is definitely a little too gapey for me.
Well, yeah, the crack is open.
But you're right. I mean, at least it's a little bit. I don't know. I think the butthole on the left has the same size crack. It's just not open, and you're not getting a different angle. But that butthole in the middle, yeah, you can't have. That's the 24-inch butt crack.
Yeah, that we all talked about for years.
That's what Big M used to have. Yeah. She had the world record, big 26-inch butt crack.
Yeah, that one goes up to the small of her back.
Well, yeah, and that's not an attractive thing.
The only thing that's good for is you could really get your whole face in there.
Well,
if you're eating the butt.
Why did they change it then? Why did not the butt cracks? Back to if I read that article wrong the whole time, and of course I don't read articles, I just read the headlines. So I'm thinking poop comes out of the butt.
Well, you turn it into what you want.
Sperm comes out of the butt, and I thought you just shit sperm into a vagina somehow.
That's the Alabama hot pocket.
Yeah. When you shit into a vagina?
And then you fuck it. Yeah, that's an Alabama Hot Pocket.
That is not cool.
No, it's gross.
That's not cool at all. All right. Outside of the Alabama Hot Pockets, you typically don't shit in vagina. Anyways, so why did they?
So you're saying you shoot cum out of your ass, and you thought it was shoot cum out of your ass into a vagina?
Yes, and and I was like, well, that don't work, so let's make a dick. But anyway, so they used to have birth from the asshole. Why did they change it? Why do we need a different hole? What do you think the evolution?
The asshole can't possibly open enough to have a baby pass through it.
It could. It wouldn't be pleasant afterwards.
It would rip from fucking bottom to top.
To be fair, typically so do the vag holes.
They rip a little on the bottom in the taint, and that's the whole reason the taint's there.
It's a ripcord?
Well, no, but there's nothing behind it that can get really damaged.
I didn't know that.
If it does tear.
The whole purpose of the taint this whole time was just to be a ripcord.
The way that a woman's joints and bones are down there, they can all like almost detach to open. A butthole can't possibly open enough to pass a baby. No fucking way,
I've
dude.
seen some videos. I've seen some videos.
I've seen videos.
Some ladies doing some.
Yeah, then that woman would have to repopulate the earth because she's the only one that can do that.
She had a special butthole.
Yeah, and
she didn't just have your average butthole.
I watched a woman. Oh, I don't know. And this was before this AI shit.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was fisting her asshole.
Yeah, I've seen this.
Then he went in with the other hand.
Oh, double fist.
Then he was doing this in her asshole.
Oh, dude.
And I'm going.
Give him the old choo-choo.
Yeah, he was punching it.
Giving her the old Mike Tyson.
He was doing this. And he was going back and forth with his hands. And this woman was going, God, that feels good. Yeah. And I'm like, no.
There's no way that feels good.
It doesn't feel good.
No way that feels good.
When this finger will make me tighten up like I just fucking got a hospital bill.
Yeah, no, I feel under attack.
Yes. And he was going in her asshole. And I'm looking at her vagina and I'm like, this thing looked like a fucking living being. This thing was just angry and fucking laid open. And I'm going.
I was watching this porn the other day where this guy, he was fucking her in the ass, but then he pulled out a tissue and wiped his dick real quick. And I knew that, like, ooh, that means you got poop on it. Ooh, and I'm done. I'm out. I'm out.
See, I'd be out too. Yeah. That's never happened to me because I'm not a huge fan of.
No, if I was the guy, I'd still be. I'd be
yeah,
fine.
Me too.
But as the watcher, I'm no longer there. There's better options out there.
As the guy, I'm not going back in.
Well,
it's like there's more poop in there. You just wiped off the poop, and now you're going in for a second helping.
I'm finishing the deed because I don't want to switch back to the front now. I'm not trying to ruin the entrance, dude. You're going to put mud on the carpet. You don't want that. You just got to keep it out back, take out the dishes, get what you need to do done, and then move on.
You know, in all these fucking years of me doing like freaky stuff, when I wasn't married, that is, I've only had like 3 girls that have went ATM on me.
Yeah.
And first I thought, hey, that's fucking cool. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like,
I don't know one cool thing about that. Yeah, it's very gross.
It's gross.
It just tells me a lot about you as a human.
You're eating poop.
Yeah.
In a sense.
And it doesn't matter if it's your own.
And, you could have one of those fucking anal wands that goes up your ass like our buddy does that cleans you out. And you could be very squeaky clean in there. But the whole point is poop comes out of there. And now you're sticking it in your mouth. I'm out. Actually, I'm not out. I wasn't out.
Yeah, I mean,
I was still in, but
yeah, I mean,
I certainly wouldn't kiss her at that point.
You take that drumstick and you stick it down in like a portalet and just scrape the walls a little bit, and then wash it off. Would you put that drumstick in your mouth?
No.
No, exactly.
No. See, the thing about it is, people are going to say, "What the fuck are you talking about, you hypocrite liar?" Because you eat butt. I don't eat the inside of the butt.
Now, we talked about that.
I eat the outside.
Yeah.
I don't tongue fuck. My tongue doesn't go in the cornhole.
Yeah.
It stays.
Ever?
Not on purpose.
Really?
If it's
not even like the first time. Let's see what this is about.
No.
See, I definitely, I tried.
I tickle the whole thing.
Because it don't go far. It's not like you got a 6-inch tongue.
Well, you can't fit it in that far, and there's probably that much room before you actually get into the open space.
Yeah.
But the whole point is,
open space.
I'm sure it's.
Isn't that what that clown in it was talking about? The open space.
I'm sure it's went in there at some point, but it's not like I'll sit there and go and tongue fuck it, you know. Because at one point, probably not long ago, there was poop right there.
Yeah. No, you're doing the act of cleaning like there was poop, but without the poop.
Yeah. A lot of poop talk.
That's what you're. Well, I'm just saying, like, that's what you imagine in your head is that she took a shit and then stood up and spread the shit on her butt cheeks. and then squeeze them again, and now you got to get all the poop off. That's what you're imagining as you eat butt, right?
Absolutely.
I figured you weird.
Absolutely. Hey, as a matter of fact, I'm proposing we do our death pool every year.
I'm winning.
I'm willing to buy another bottle of liquor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want people to write in or give us messages and give us one number of how many years Diddy is going to get when this is all said and done.
Oh, we're having a contest?
And the winner will get, you can't say life.
Yeah.
You got to say a number. If he gets life, everything's null and void.
Oh, bets off.
But if they say,
you think he's going to get life? I don't think he'll get life.
Let's say they say
they might go 40.
10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go with the lowest end.
Yeah, 10.
That'll be the winner.
10's what it is, yeah.
Yeah, if they says 10 to 15 and you said 10, you're the winner.
Yeah.
So I need people to start making guesses. Now, if there's multiple, you'll have to split the prize.
Okay.
But I want people to start writing in. We've got several weeks, probably months before this thing is over. Yeah. But I want to know how many years people think he's going to get. Like those two fucking crazies that burned the bridge down.
Yeah, I heard they got 4.
One got 9 to 13 years, the first one. And that was a plea deal.
Is that the first one?
That was the first one.
Okay, so you think, well, I don't know which one it is. Is it one of the burners or is it one of the ones that helped out the burners?
No, there's 2 burners, and they both took plea deals.
What are they pleading?
Guilty, and then they drop a few charges, and blah, blah, blah.
No.
But and they lessen the punishment. So the first guy got his sentence today, which was 9 to 13 years. And the other one will be sentenced here in the next few days because he took the same type of plea deal.
And I'm sure
my guess is he gets the same time.
What about the other 2 dipshits that didn't do it but helped them hide them and stuff?
They're charged, but they haven't. I don't think they've taken plea deals yet. If they do, they probably honestly won't get any jail time at all. Maybe a year or 2. Because I'll tell you what, out of you hear about all this shit on TV and all this fucked up stuff happening in the world. That fucked with all of us.
No, I want them dead.
Yeah, that fucked with everybody that lives in this city because everyone in this fucking town either goes across that bridge at some point or has to go downtown and deal with the traffic of everybody else trying to take alternate ways. So that fucked with us for how long, a year?
Yeah, like 6 months. But either way, I do vote for the death sentence in this particular case. I don't always go with the death sentence, but this one, I want death. They should die.
Yeah.
The public should get to watch. In fact, I think it should be by a stoning. We can all take turns,
How about this? We throw them off the bridge. Off that bridge.
Nah, what if they swim?
No, they got a fucking cement block attached to their feet.
Yeah, okay. I don't mind that as much. But I say it's stoning, and I say we measure the stone that you get to throw by how shitty your car is, right? So if you had a nice ride and you got stuck in this traffic, at least you're in a nice ride. You get a medium-sized stone, a small stone, boom. But if you had to fucking sit there in like a 2006 Hyundai with no air conditioning and, blah, 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 you get a little bigger of a rock. You know what I mean? They give a little fair justice out to these fucking cunts.
It's so funny that you mentioned that because not long ago I was watching some show on YouTube, something. They were talking about like medieval, punishments and tortures. They were talking about stoning in the Muslim community.
Yeah, they love
Sharia law. Here's how fucking much these people, these Muslims, and I say you people, hate women compared to men. Women are buried up to their neck.
Yeah.
Men are buried up to their waist. And it's a rule of stoning. If you get out of the hole, you go free.
Oh.
Men are buried to here. Women are buried to here.
Because at first I would say that's kind of a blessing because if you're going to die, you're going to die a lot quicker if they can only throw it at your head.
Yeah, but like I said, the whole point of getting stoned is to try to get your way out of this hole.
See, I didn't know that was the whole point. I didn't know stoning was a fucking game of survival.
You get to go free. Very few do because these guys are pelting you in the fucking melon with rocks.
I think we've talked about this before, and I agree that it's probably dependent on the neighborhood. I don't think this is a blanket rule with all stonings, but
I think it is.
Really?
A Sharia law thing.
I thought it was just like, well, in Price Hill, this is what we're doing, but over here in Red Bank, we're going to do a little bit different. Like I thought that was the way it went.
Mean streets of Red Bank.
Yeah, you never know what was going to happen, but either way, with what were we talking about before?
Stonings.
Who was getting
two assholes?
Those fucking assholes. Yeah, vigilante justice. We need that, and we need more of that, and that's why my hero of the week is coming.
I need a hero. Holding out for a hero. Till the morning light. He's got to be strong, and he's got to be fast, and he's got to be larger than life. I need a hero.
All right. My hero of the week, and we'll see if this actually works, because why would it ever fucking work? You know how that actually goes.
Yeah.
So we're going to go over here first and hit the hero. No, it's not our hero. That guy's pretty cool, but not a hero. He's cool in a different way, and we will see that.
Popeye's manager.
We will see this later. Yes. My hero this week is Popeye's manager. That's right, guys. All right. Popeye's manager took it into his own hands this week when another employee burnt the biscuits. All right. Now, I don't like my biscuits burnt.
Well, they obviously wouldn't sell those.
I want good biscuits. Well, this Popeye's manager went at the guy, and all of a sudden they got in a fight. Next thing you know, he shot the guy and he's dead. But the bottom line is, everybody else, I wish they gave his name. I can't give the guy much credit if they don't give me his name. But the bottom line is, this guy is taking a stand for all of us that go to fast food and have our fries overcooked, have our chicken overcooked, get burnt biscuits, shit like that. You get home, you're so excited to go eat my Popeyes, and the biscuits are fucking burnt. Are you kidding me? Well, this guy took it into his own hands to make sure that food quality is up to the standards. And he's going to, he didn't die. All right, we're not killing people over this. That's rude.
You said he died.
I lied if I said he died.
You did.
Okay, well, he didn't die. He, didn't turn out well for him or anything, but he didn't die. So I don't think.
Did he get fired?
Which one?
The one who got shot.
I don't know. I imagine the manager got fired.
You think?
He's going to do a little bit of jail time, but that's, the way I look at it, both of these guys, they're martyrs. All right, for the rest of us that are going to go eat our fast food and such, they're martyrs. This guy, they now know, everybody knows. It's rang out throughout the community. You don't burn biscuits, you might get shot. All right, you never know when this guy is going to be your fucking manager.
Don't you have to die to be a martyr?
Shut up. He's a martyr for our great fast food industry, and we're going to get better food all because this manager shot the guy that burnt the biscuits. We need more of this. We need more vigilante justice. We need to get things going. We need to make America build back great again.
That's huge.
Yeah. No, he did a
lot. Now, see,
he did a lot for the community.
If I was, let's say, a manager of
he's my hero.
Red Lobster, and you burned those good Cheddar Bay biscuits, I think you might get shot in the head.
By the way, overrated. I know. People really swear by those things.
Yeah, because you've never cracked one open and filled it with a pat of butter and waited for it to melt.
I have. I've done such. I would still, and I agree. But I would still take the O'Charlie's rolls, just the basic O'Charlie
the yeast
rolls. Those things were some of the best rolls ever. I don't know. They're made out of angels, apparently.
Rolls,
call them what you will. Yeah. They're heavenly. And I will also, I think it's the Texas Roadhouse, the one that has...
The secret ingredients is they're made from juice of virgin's vaginus.
You know who else had who else had ridiculously good ones? Is that place we went and ate down in the river that cost way too much, and you gave me shit because I ate all the cinnamon butter. Buckhead had some good fucking rolls, so much that I ate all the butter without giving you any of it, if I remember right.
Yeah, you ate all the butter.
It was so good.
Fucking Golden Corral.
Oh, those had some good biscuits.
They had the same rolls as fucking O'Charlie's, those big yeast rolls.
Yeah, no, they were good. Yeah,
isn't it amazing how you could sit
all
there?
They had.
Yeah, that's all they had good.
That was it. Like some mashed potatoes are all right, I guess.
Yeah, can I have that fucking piece of that steak? You ain't cutting that steak.
That steak is so bad. Yeah, some fucking Mexican sweating on it as he cuts it for you.
Oh, yeah. Just one drop.
Oh, God.
So in the life of the bull, I've had a few things going on.
Oh, okay. Update.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of messages lately from new people.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a very interesting one about 2 weeks ago. And I'm going to tell the whole story. And... go ahead, judge me. I'm a creep. I know. I get a message from this woman. It says, "Hey, how you doing? Like your profile, great dick kind of thing." Next thing you know, I'm talking to her. She's a little Filipino broad who's 51 years old. Attractive. Very attractive.
Now, the last Filipino you showed me, you said was attractive. She literally looked like a naked baby boy. So I'm just saying.
So then they both start talking to me. He had some type of surgery. Cock doesn't work at all.
Dick don't work.
Your dick don't work. I'll bang your wife because your dick don't work. Your dick don't work. Your dick don't work. I'll fuck her pussy because your dick don't work.
Yeah.
So he says, my wife's got a very active sex life. Would you mind fucking her? Talk to him a while. No, I'll fuck her for you.
It's nice of you.
This really happened. So I get a message one day. Hey, we're coming back from North Carolina. They live near Indianapolis somewhere. We're coming back from North Carolina.
Okay, no.
And we're stopping in Cincinnati. Any chance you'll be horny tomorrow? And it doesn't normally go like this. Doesn't go this way. Normally it's planned. I'm coming in town. We're going to get a hotel.
Yeah, no.
We're driving through.
Drive-by cuck.
Feel like fucking her? And I'm like, I'm not doing anything. So they come over. Okay? On their way through town. Swear to God. I fuck her. He sits in the living room.
Your house?
Yeah, he doesn't come in. Nothing. He stays there. TV's on. He's watching TV. He's watching a baseball game.
Full house.
Because apparently his don't work at all.
Yeah.
He has no drive, anything. It's taken away all of his machismo. So she comes over. I fuck her. I have a perfectly nice time. She goes, we'll have to do this again sometime. I'm like, hey, if you're ever swinging through town, because I'm not driving 2 hours to fuck you, but if you're ever swinging through town, I will. So I get a message an hour later. Hey, that was fun. Thanks again. Then I get a message the next day. Hey, you want me to drive down tomorrow? And
now you're getting weird.
I said, well, no, I got to work tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. Then I get a message that afternoon. How about the day after that? I start getting stalked. She messages me every day for like a week.
That's kind of cool.
No, it's not cool.
I think it's cool.
And then all of a sudden, she was coming without him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, first of all, I told her, I said, if you're driving through, great. I don't want you driving 2 hours down here because here's what's going to happen. We're going to fuck for a half hour. And then you're going to say, hey, you want to watch TV? You want to go out to lunch or something? I don't want any of that.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to take your wife out to a fucking hotel for the weekend. So I finally tell her, I say, hey, I had a good time too, but you've messaged me every day, you know.
Yeah, I wasn't looking for a
relax,
girlfriend.
chill out. And she goes, oh, so I guess you're done with me? And I went, no, I'm not done with you. You're married to a guy for 30 fucking years. You drove through town once, wanted some dick. I gave it to you. And now you're messaging me every day. So she goes, well, I just thought it was fun and we could do it again. And I said, and perhaps we can in a few months if you happen to be driving through town.
Let me put you on the schedule.
And after a couple more of those, she goes, well, I thought we had something going. I'm like, no, we don't have anything going. I said, I don't even remember your name. And I get a fuck you. I'm like, all right, well, thanks a lot. Have a nice day. And then the husband messages me back. He said, dude, just give her a few days. She'll calm down. And I said to him, I don't want to give her a few days. I don't want her to calm down. I don't want to be stalked after fucking for a half an hour. And he goes, oh, okay, we must have been looking for something different. And I said, no. When you messaged me, you said, my wife needs some dick. Will you want to give it to her? And apparently what your wife needs is a very regular dick, which I'm not willing to provide.
Yeah. Or just another.
He goes, all right, then. He was cool. He's like, all right, cool. And the last message I got from her was, fuck you. And he was like, all right, dude, sorry. We were looking for different things. And I'm like, hey, nice meeting you. Have a good one. And I haven't heard from her since.
Man.
Nut job.
Yeah, it sounds like it. But I mean, what do you expect? You're in this community of weirdos. You can't get mad when one of them's weird.
But that's the whole point of the fucking swinger sex lifestyle. It's not pushy. It's, no means no.
Those Asians don't play by the rules.
But
actually, it's typically different. Usually Asians love rules.
That very next day.
Yeah, usually
Hey,
Asians
how about I
love
drive down tomorrow? And I'm like, no.
What was the situation here? So you said she was about how old? You said late 40s?
51.
Oh, 51. Okay. Pretty old for your
but
take.
Attractive.
All right, attractive.
Tiny.
Well, of course, Philip. Yeah, they all are.
Yeah.
What was the guy?
He honestly looked like a typical Trumper. He had a hat on that said he served something, and he had like a name of his ship or something. One of those. One of those. Oh, but he's an alright guy, just an average dude.
Yeah, his ship just didn't float anymore.
It didn't float at all. He had some kind of surgery, and it took that away. He said, "Look, it doesn't bother me at all. I don't have a sex life at all. We've been married too long. Just want some dick every now and then." And then when she started messaging me the next day, and I said, "No, I can't." Then it was 2 hours later. Then it was 5 hours later, and finally it was are you sick of me already? And I'm like, I'm sick of these text messages.
Yeah, I know we don't have a lot of military listeners, but you know how happy the Army and Marines were when you said that basically he was in the Navy? Like, yes, not one of ours. You don't want to, you don't want to be the Marine cuck.
Yeah.
It's weird, you know?
Although the Marines are a branch of the Navy.
They don't like each other, buddy. They don't like each other.
My whole point is, it's like, what the fuck, lady? I mean, she wanted to drive down the next day, and I'm like, ew, no.
Ew.
I'm like, we just fucked the first time today, and you want to come tomorrow? And like I said, you're not going to drive 2 hours, get fucked for a half hour, and go right back home. You're going to be like, hey, what do you want to do? Nothing. I want you to leave.
I want you to go.
Yeah.
Go eat some Richie's chicken and go home.
Like I said, the guy was real cool about it. He's like, no, we must have been looking for different things. I'm like, you reached out to me. Will you sling her some dick once? Mm-hmm. I did. And now she's stalking me every 3 hours.
All right. We got an asshole?
I got one.
Asshole of the week.
Asshole of the week.
I got one. You got one. Mine's kind of a longer story. So.
Mine's a quick one. Right. And lately, I've been Ubering less.
Me too.
Okay. And I've been doing like other delivery things. Yeah,
you've been doing like ships and stuff.
Yeah. Just because it's quicker, it's easier on the car. I don't put 1 billion miles on it. Doesn't pay as much, but I don't need a ton extra money.
You don't deal with people.
Right.
You don't have to play people roulette.
So I've been doing Instacart, where you go grocery shopping for these people, then you deliver it.
Yeah, we're all aware how this works.
But it tells you the tip right up front. Okay. And I only take the ones that are like 5 items or less and within like 3 or 4 miles. Mm-hmm. Because you don't have to like hit it and go immediately there. You could take a shower and then go there. And so I get one the other day on Monday, and it's fucking Memorial Day. Store's probably going to be packed. So it's 6 items, and they're all produce. And it's 1.5 mile drive, and I'm making like $17 off of it. I'm like, I'm going to be in there 10 minutes, driving a mile, $17 for a half hour. So I go in there and I get everything. And when you do it, you got to scan it, you got to weigh it and do all that stuff when it's produce. I get it to the house. All of a sudden, I drop it off. I go home. The tip was like $11. And all of a sudden, the tip goes down to $8.
Oh.
Because they have 2 hours to decrease the tips if something's wrong. So I'm like, can't lower the tip.
Yeah, $3. That's a weird amount too.
And like
you either take it all away or...
Well, it's a percentage.
But still.
It must have started at like 100% and then went down. And I'm like waiting for this fucking comment of apparently you got to make a comment.
Tell you why you did it.
Yeah. Apparently the produce I selected wasn't up to her liking.
Oh, dude, you got to watch out with that produce.
This cunt. So I'm going to say it out loud, Brittany. You're a cunt.
Brittany.
I don't know how to pick out a good kiwi. I don't
know. I don't know what a good kiwi feels like.
And they were in a pre-boxed.
Yeah. 6
kiwi.
Yeah,
that was a problem. Said my kiwi was poor quality.
Oh, now it's already boxed. You don't even get to touch it and feel it and squash it.
And even if I did, I wouldn't know what I was touching and feeling for. It's a brown furry thing. Mm-hmm. They all look the fucking same. Now, I can see if it's an apple with a giant bruise on the side of it.
Yep.
This was fucking kiwi. I don't know the difference. Brittany, you are a fucking asshole. I don't know anything about kiwi. And maybe the next time you order Instacart, you shouldn't do it where somebody else is picking out your fucking produce for you. Fuck you.
Yeah, he's rubbing it on his balls next time he sees your name.
Oh, without a doubt.
Fucking kiwi is touching his bum.
And I'll probably accept her next order.
Just so you can rub it on your balls.
Just so I can rub it on my balls.
Of course.
Yeah.
Come on.
But like I said, I don't make as much money, but it's easier.
Yeah.
And my car doesn't get 20,000 miles, but I have to deal with cunts like Brittany every now and then.
Yeah, now that would piss me off too. Because like you said, if it was like you said before, apples, bananas, like some shit that's real obvious if it's fucked up. But yeah, kiwi that's in a container. That's
with 6 of them in there.
Yeah, I know exactly which ones you're talking about.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself,
yeah.
Brittany. You fucking
bitch. I wish this was cunt of the week.
It is if you're speaking of women. It's kind of interchangeable. If it's an asshole, if it's a guy. You
Brittany of Chevy in Ohio.
All right, I'm not giving this guy's name. But all right, so I'm at work the other day. And it's been a slow week, so I'm excited when I see someone get dropped off and walk straight over to the Suburbans, all right?
Means they want to drive out.
Yes. Yeah, that happens. You know, people. So I was pretty excited. Went straight to the Suburbans. It was a black fellow that was dressed really nice. Maybe mixed with some kind of Middle East. I don't know. You know, maybe something else besides black. But either way, dressed nice, carried himself nice.
Yeah.
All right. I walk over to him. We're looking at the car. It's $103,000. And he goes,
a Suburban costs that much now?
It's a high country Suburban, which is the top model. It's the best Suburban that you can get, basically.
$103,000.
Anyhow, so he goes, ooh, he's like, nah, he's like, I can't go that high. And I was like, all right. I was like, what are you trying to stay under? And he said 70. And I was like, all right, well, take you these Tahoes. And I took him to a Tahoe. He's like, yeah, I like it. I was like, let me get the keys for you. He didn't want to drive it. He just literally opened the door and he goes, yeah, my kids will like it. At this point, when I went and got the keys, though, my manager and somebody else tells me, hey, this guy tried to carjack so-and-so over in used cars a couple weeks ago. Do not hop in the car with him.
No way.
Anyhow, so I make a mental note and I got excited, you know, because I'm a psycho. So I'm like, ooh, some excitement finally, you know. Milford gets a little boring out here. Something to do. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, they're like, tell us if you feel uneasy, you know, you don't have to do this anymore.
Or maybe they should have called the police and said, hey, let's get this guy out of here.
We're calling the cops.
You're calling the cops.
Okay. So, you know, basically they want me to keep him busy and basically go through the process. Well, I'm the whole time like, well, fuck, now I'm kind of bummed. Because I was really thinking sale.
Because you know he ain't going to buy it.
Yeah, no, I was thinking sale. All right, so
he tried to kidnap the guy in used cars.
Listen, we'll get to this.
Okay.
We'll get to this. All right, so I get him inside. We do a little short, a little short talk or whatever, small talk, and he tells me he's a welder. He has 2 kids. I mean, he doesn't, and like none of this is registering to me because he doesn't seem like that at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I take him inside, sit him down at my desk. I was like, well, let me get your ID. He gives me an ID.
Oh, he said, I'll take it?
Yeah, he said he's paying cash. He's paying cash. He's going to put on, it's not that abnormal. It's really not that abnormal, people paying cash. When they say cash, it's not actual cash.
Credit card, whatever.
Yes, or a check, stuff like that. It's pretty fucking normal, especially the high-end customers.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't
interest.
Didn't think anything of it. He pulls out his card and he goes, yeah, I'm going to put it all in this. And I was like, all right, there's a 3% charge, blah, blah, blah. He's like, that's fine. And he gives me his ID, and his ID is him. I do notice, though, it says non-driver on it. So that's a little bit of a, what you get in the car for if you can't drive kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why spending $70,000 on a Tahoe you're not going to be able to drive? But, you know, it never comes up. So I print out the paper, and at this point I go to the back where the managers are and stuff and start talking to them a little bit. And the cop comes in and they start explaining the situation to the cop. What actually happened, at least this is the way I got it, is this guy was acting kind of weird previously. And then he did go on the test drive. In the middle of the test drive, he had already said he was buying cash or whatever. And so in the middle of the test drive, he asked the salesperson to go to the ATM. All right. And he said he was on the phone and stuff like that. Well, the salesperson got flipped out. And as soon as the guy got out of the car, I guess, to go into the ATM, he just drove off. And he thought...
The salesman drove off.
Yeah, and he thought he was getting carjacked because this guy had talked on the phone and he went trying to get him to go to an ATM. In my head, I'm going, you sure this guy's just not scared of black people? You know what I mean? Like, you sure he's just not afraid of black people? And you know, he's not around.
And the guy got out of the car.
Yeah, like I don't...
He didn't point a gun at you and say, you get out of the car.
There was never any guns. There was never anything else. He apparently had just seen someone on the phone, and then there was like another car there, and he thought that car was working with this guy.
Yeah.
And hey, listen, maybe that's true. But in the moment, I'm just thinking like, well, none of this really adds up. You know, and I'm like, maybe they're just misjudging this guy. I'm going to try to go ahead with the sale. Now the cop comes in, they're telling him all that story, obviously. And the cop pretty much tells me to say, he's like, I don't know, man. He's like, I'm going to go run his stuff. He's like, try to sell a car. Maybe the guy just wants a car. Maybe last time it was just a misunderstanding. Now he's coming up here to buy a car.
Sounds like one to me.
And I'm getting excited in my head. I'm like, yeah, fuck these guys. You know what I mean? Like, I'm selling this guy a car. You know, I kind of even got mini shitty with my manager about it. But he's like, no, I'm telling you, last time he gave me these crazy, you know, the way he was acting. So anyhow, cop comes back in. I'm going through the process. I took his card and they went to go do his card and stuff like that. Cop comes back in and goes,
they were running his card for $70,000.
Yeah. Well, that's what he told us to do. Now, a lot of times though, you got to call the bank and have them pre-approve it and stuff like that. But we'll get to that in a second. Cop comes back in, says he has a warrant out for his arrest for driving under, or not arrest, but he has a warrant out for driving under suspended license in Marymount. Besides that, nothing else is going on. They're going to have the Marymount cop come up and recite him. So now at this point, I'm like, God damn it.
There goes your sale.
Yeah, I was like, there goes my sale. And I don't like fucking telling on people. You know what I mean? So it's like double, ugh. And
especially for a suspended
I'm just
license.
like, shit, you know, this sucks. Yeah. And but now at this point, though, the manager or the finance guy took his card and it got denied. Now, again, that might just be because they're not going to just give you $70,000 over a swipe of a card without you calling first. So I was like, hey, buddy, you got to call. He had a phone the whole time. And all of a sudden now he said he doesn't have a phone. He's using our phone. Okay, that's weird, but whatever. He gets on the phone. He's on there for a while. And then he's like, hangs up. He's like, yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. And then the manager did it again. Didn't work. And I was like, let me call that. So I call it, give him the number. I haven't put his code in. You know, the little machine comes up. Account balance, negative $3.21. It's like, all right, this guy's trying to put a fucking Tahoe on a card when he has negative $3 in the hole. Which at this point, I'm thinking multiple things. I'm thinking like, well, that's fucking crazy. Another thing I'm thinking like, I like how he said the $100,000 car was too much. He had negative $3. The fucking $10 car would have been too much. Like, what's it really matter at that point?
On the $10.
Like, I was trying to figure out this scam. It made no sense in my head. And then the cop came.
Well, maybe he was thinking, you know,
because I said that to him.
Buster machines.
Well, I was like, dude, I was like, this says negative $3.21. He's like, oh, maybe I gave you the wrong card. And he grabs his wallet and he walks outside. And when he walks outside, the cops come out from the back, follow him out, give him his ticket, and he leaves. So I'm just thinking, oh, well, that was weird. That whole thing was weird. It was fucking weird. Yeah, and it was like, and there was another. It was annoying me earlier because I was like, when they even called the cops, I even told my manager, like, can't I just fucking tell him to fuck off and not waste an hour of my life? And the manager laughed. He's like, nah, we got to, you know, got to do this so he doesn't do something else. But so the guy comes back an hour later, right? An hour later, he goes walking straight into my GM's office. He wasn't involved in any of it. Well, he was involved a little bit because he was the one that called the cops and stuff, but we can't really tell what's going on. Next thing you know, he leaves, goes out the door and goes over to the service office. He's over there. Now I see my GM get up, get his fucking gun, puts his gun.
No way.
Everybody at my work carries, dude. They can't wait for shit to pop off. You know, he puts his gun in his shirt, comes storming out. And we're trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. We're watching on one of those closed circuit televisions. Yeah. I was trying to just keep my head down. Yeah. Just like I didn't want him to come over to me. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Thinking that fucker's the one who called the cops on me.
So apparently they called the cops again. He's arguing in there. The cops come. Apparently he told the manager that his son, speaking about me, my GM's only 5 years older than me, but I'm his son apparently, stole $71 billion off of his card when he swiped it. And now he wants his $71 billion back, and he wants it now.
$71 billion.
$71 billion.
This guy's just crazy.
He's insane. All right, the cops come, they have him out front, and he is just completely serious. He's like, no, man, they took all my money. They took all my money. And the cop's like, no, sir, they didn't. He's like, in fact, I don't know why you're trying to buy a car with negative $3 on your account, but, you know, they're going to need you to leave. You can't, you know, you got to get off the property, trespassing. If not, and we put you under arrest. And he's like, oh, you're on their side, huh? And he's like, I'm suing you too for the same amount. And the cop's like, I don't have $91 billion, sir. He's like, well, you better come up with it because you owe me. He's like, and I own all this. I'll stay here if I want. And the cop's like, you're under arrest if you stay here. So then he walks up the street, parked out underneath a sign for like 5 minutes, wouldn't move again. And the cops went up and arrested him and he disappeared. But it was one of the craziest fucking hours and a half over nothing. What is going through your head? And why couldn't he buy the $100,000 car? He was negative $3.
And he said you stole $71 billion.
Yeah, $71 billion. Like if you're trying to rip somebody off, wouldn't you go with a little bit more of a normal number? Would. Like, hey man, when he swiped my card, he took $7,000 out. That son of a bitch.
Or he took $70,000 out. The bank you're trying to buy for the car.
Fair enough. I took that out. But no, he went with $71 billion. As if any bank, is there any transaction that what did he try to fucking buy Fiji?
I mean, did the card say Elon Musk on it? Because to my knowledge, he's the only one with like $71 billion. And
right? Even so, I think the bank's going to have to make a call or two. And what would cost that much? What would he buy that cost $71 billion? Yeah, he's gonna put Microsoft
So he
on fucking
accused
check.
you of taking the money.
Well, the manager's son. He was
you took
speaking
the
to me,
card.
but he was yelling at the GM the whole time, and that was funny too because he starts pointing at the GM, and the GM gets all hot-headed. Don't you look at me? You know.
Oh my God. So he was a complete insane person.
Oh, it was great. It was a good time.
But you thought he was totally normal.
Dude, it's still he's obviously going through some kind of psychotic breakdown. We looked him up when he left. And he had been arrested for fentanyl like 6 times.
Oh, God.
But he didn't seem, like I said, if you looked at him, you would have thought, I'm literally talking to him, looking at him, and go, okay, I can see this guy being worth money.
Do people ever walk into a car lot with a fucking briefcase full of cash?
So I haven't seen it.
Sure, it happens.
I'm sure it happens, but I haven't seen it. I'm sure it happens all the fucking time.
Because I heard that car dealers don't like it when you pay cash because then they don't get any finance money.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 100% right. I mean, unless you go to a car lot that doesn't do their own financing or doesn't do any getting kickback from financings. I don't think that exists.
Dude, I'm telling you
I think back in the day, it was a big thing. Like back in the day, you could get better deals on it. But nowadays, it's like, nah, you're already going to get, especially in this time right now, no one's paying sticker price anyways for most cars.
Right.
You know, so you're already getting a deal. Car lots already aren't making a lot off their product. At least new cars are. So you're definitely,
But people are just fucking crazy these days.
Yeah.
I mean, and
they've always been crazy.
Yeah, but they're getting weirder and weirder. I mean, this guy came into this fucking shop, to your shop, and now think of the gravity of this. Accused you of stealing $71 billion.
Yeah.
And he said it with a straight face.
Yeah.
Like with the cop standing
100%.
there going, $71 billion.
Yes. No, he was totally calm about it. It wasn't like he was yelling. He was very calmly like, they took $71 billion from me and I'd like it back. You know? It's like, what the fuck is... Even the cop... This cop should... You know, these are the kind of cops you're like, these are good cops. Because they're not... You know, he started being more stern with them, but... My impulsive, especially this cop was like 6'4". He was a mountain of a man.
Yeah.
You know, I would have fucking probably just slammed this guy against the wall and arrested him right there because he's not, you know, you're not going to get through to this crazy person. But
Till he gets his $71 billion
but
back.
they acted like total fucking professionals the whole time. So shout out to the Milford cop, whatever his name was. But
well, I'm telling you, people are getting crazier and fucking crazier.
Small town America too, you know, like that's the thing. If you go downtown, you can pass like 15 of those guys in like one block downtown Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah. I was in Milford on Saturday for several hours, and I forgot how small podunk that little town can be.
It's actually a decent sized town if you take the whole area.
Yeah, if you take that one freeway north that goes forever.
I'm just talking about all the suburbs that are Milford. Yeah. Like it's a decent sized town, but yeah, that 131 or whatever.
Well, yeah, because I used to, like I said, I delivered FedEx in Milford, and I had that long road, and then Brandon, our buddy, had the neighborhoods. But I was at that Scene 75 indoor go-karts, whatever. My son had a birthday party there.
28.
And I said, well, I'm not going to go in there while he's having a birthday party. So I kind of tooled around, looked for something to do. I forgot. It has a very small town feel.
Well, if you go down the hill, like right before you get to Indian Hill, you get a definite small town feel.
Yeah.
Like that
and
little
I did
part,
go down
Old
that
Milford
hill.
or whatever. There's a bunch of like little shops, like bicycle shops and shit.
Reminds me of something really funny that happened while I was sitting there. God's honest truth.
I don't believe in God.
Well, my truth.
Okay.
I said, well, you know what? He's going to be in there for 3 hours. Let's do an Instacart. And I turned it on, and I get a call. Go to Kroger on Main Street. Getting 2 items. Swear to God. He got a Hershey's Cookies and Cream candy bar and a box of rubbers.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
What a cool guy.
That's all he got.
Yeah.
2 items, and I was making $16 off of it.
Yeah.
And he was going to Indian Hill. And it was the part of Indian Hill with the hotel-like houses.
Yeah,
it was the Richie Rich part.
I mean, almost all of Indian Hills like that once you get off the main road.
Not all of it. These are it's like you got huge houses there, but if you go up this way, you get the fucking
I get what you're saying.
So that's where it was. And I turn onto this one street, and I'm going down. I'm looking at these houses, going, Jesus Christ!
There's no one else besides a super rich person or a super poor person that are just going to order a chocolate bar and condoms. No one in the middle class area would do that.
Right?
You know, it's someone that makes awful decisions or someone that just doesn't matter.
So I'm driving down the road, this road, and there's these mansions on both sides of me. And all of a sudden it said, you've reached your destination. So I look at the address, And there is no address, just the name of the street.
Mm-hmm.
But where the pin was this monster house right here. So I pulled into the fucking big circular driveway, and it had to be a 6 or 7 bedroom house.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a hotel. And as I'm waiting for somebody to come out, and all of a sudden I see a car pull up and it's coming in the driveway. So I make my way back out, and the guy goes, "Yeah, can I help you?" It's his house. I said, "Yes, sir. Here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
I got an Instacart delivery here, and it doesn't give me an address." And I showed him, and he starts laughing. He goes, "Well, it's not me. I didn't order anything." So I get off
Did
the
he
phone.
know what it was?
No, I didn't tell him that. So I call Instacart.
Here's your chocolate bar and your condoms. Sir.
And I stop. I'm on the side of the road, and I'm figuring maybe this guy just didn't want his address known.
Yeah.
He was going to walk up the street, see me. And so I call Instacart, and I said, "There's no address on this order, just the name of the street." And I said, "I've asked the people at all of these houses right here if they ordered anything." They said no. And she goes, "Well, we don't have an address. I can see that. So I'm going to cancel the order. You'll still get paid, but you can keep everything."
Hey, man.
So I literally, at that moment, cracked open that candy bar.
Yeah.
Sitting there eating the cookies and cream candy bar, which I didn't like, by the way.
No, it's not good.
And I got a box of really expensive rubbers.
And you're right. The cookies and cream candy bar,
it's not good.
The Hershey bar is not a good candy bar. Not at all.
I took
agree.
one bite out of it and pinched it.
You know what else sucks?
But I got free rubbers.
The chocolate payday. Not only does it legit look like a turd, but it's not good.
Oh, it's covered in chocolate?
Yes.
That's a Baby Ruth.
Well, no, it's a little bit different, but I get what you're saying. I'd rather have a Baby Ruth or a Snickers over a chocolate covered payday. It just wasn't that fucking great.
Chocolate covered turd.
Promise you that. Hey, would you ever pay to get to watch a monkey get tortured or anything? Because the guy
no, I don't like stuff like that.
The guy that does that is actually from Cincinnati, dude. It's a local hero. Not my hero, because I'm not really into that shit either. But it is a local fella that apparently does this on a regular basis. There he is. This is a crazy organization, though. You know, we're always looking for ways to make money. All right. And everybody can't find out ways. This guy obviously looks like a complete piece of shit.
Total.
And is a complete piece of shit, right? But he has found a way to make money in the so-called animal crush video market. This is an online thing that just likes watching animals get tortured and shit. But this details 70. This guy got busted, and it's a big ring apparently. But this Nicholas Dryden fuck of Cincinnati was the guy that was running this ring. And as you're reading, the videos include depictions of monkeys having their genital burned, having their genitals cut with scissors, being sodomized with a wooden skewer and spoon. I mean, and there's a big long list of people that are all involved in the monkey fuck videos. There. What are we going? What people are paying for this? People are paying to watch a monkey get fucked with a burning skewer. That's where we are at in society.
Oh my God.
And it hurts to know that it comes from Cincinnati.
Yeah, but none of those people are from Ohio.
No, but the fucking ringleader's just up the street in Mason calling the Philippines hey, grab that monkey and stick something in its eyeball and then fuck it. That. What the fuck, man?
Oh my God.
So yeah, that's what's going on in the world out there. This is why you probably shouldn't leave.
My first question is, where do you get monkeys?
Like I said.
Maybe some of these other people, because I saw an Asian person's name on that list. Maybe he has a contact somewhere.
It says it. I read more about it. Yeah, it's like they're somehow organizing these videos that take place over in the Philippines, but they broadcast them throughout the world to people that like watching monkeys get tortured. And apparently there's enough people out there where this guy has made a living off of fucking somehow coordinating. And, there's some genius to this. If you take out the horrible parts of it, of people wanting to do that and the fact that it even exists, this guy did, coordinate and get the logistics down to all these monkey fucking places over in the Philippines and then found people in America somehow that like that. Talking about a niche market. You got to really search to find people that like to watch monkeys get tortured.
I don't want to see anything get tortured.
No, of course not. Why would you? You're not a weirdo. But Nicholas found a way to make money off of this. This is a hustle. This is why I say never.
How much money did he
never
make?
Get stuck in your job, guys. There is money to be made out there. You just have to find it. All right.
Does it say how much money he made?
I don't think it's.
Well, you know what? That's suddenly my fuck you.
That's your fuck you.
I mean, I've got another one, but that's fucked up.
Typically, we don't like monkey fuckers.
I don't want to see a mouse get tortured. I don't like mice.
No.
But I don't want to see him get tortured. My son goes, "Dad, look at this." And he turns on this fucking thing. And my son doesn't like stuff like this. He couldn't believe it was happening. It's a fucking hatchery, a chicken hatchery, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And thousands and thousands of little baby chicks are being born. And apparently they pick them up, they look at them, they look for some type of defect, which is going to say, okay, this chicken's, they look for males.
Okay.
Because they want the females, because they lay the eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming on a conveyor
Roosters
belt.
are dicks, as we know.
Yeah, well, they're coming on a conveyor belt. Thousands of these little babies. And this guy's standing next to this thing that looks like a huge dog cone that goes around the neck. And he's looking at me, he picks them up. And if it's a male, he throws it in this little dog cone. Mm-hmm. Well, it turns out this little dog cone, they go in around this thing, they go down there, and at the bottom of it is little blades that chop them up into fucking pieces.
Mm-hmm.
There's like thousands of these fucking chickens just being chopped up alive in this fucking hatchery.
Yeah, then they're going to make hot dogs out of that later.
Probably.
Guaranteed. That's what when they say mechanically separated chicken, that's what they're talking about. That mechanically separates all the nasty bones and shit when it just gets chopped up.
But I mean, these things are alive, and they're just
not for long.
They're fucking, and they show it underneath. It's these blades that just kind of go in a circle and just fucking grind you up while you're alive.
Yeah, but isn't that the way we always kill chickens is alive?
We have normally a grown full-size chicken, they just cut their head off.
Okay, well now they're just getting grounded up either way.
But I'm saying, what if the first blade just goes and like cuts a leg off or
sucks, man.
part of you?
Yeah.
I just think that's.
Well, think about when you cut their head off, they run around in circles. They're not even get the chance to run around in circles.
Hey, when I was working at fucking at delivering bread, I went into one of my Kroger's in Alexandria, Kentucky, and the guy said, "Watch your step, man." And I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "There's a mama raccoon in here somewhere in the back area
Oh yeah, you watch
with
yourself.
babies.
Yeah, she'll fuck you up.
Yeah, fuck you up." And he said, someone saw her running in, saw two babies behind her. She's behind some of these pallets. We don't know where she is. Just watch out. She's fucking hissing at people and all that. And I'm going, okay. So as I'm leaving the store, the exterminator's coming and he's got traps. Okay, so he, I guess, puts the traps out. I leave. I don't know. I come back the next day and the exterminator truck is there and there's Big Mama Raccoon and two babies. They caught him.
Yeah, well, that's good.
And I said to the exterminator, I'm outside. I'm loading my truck up and I'm talking to the exterminator. I'm like, hey, what are you going to do? Take those somewhere and let them go?
Kill them.
He goes, no, by law, we have to kill them.
Yeah.
If they're trapped, we have to kill them. I'm like, well, how do you do it? And he goes, well, what I'm supposed to do or how do I do it? And I'm like, well, now I want to know both.
Fuck them to death.
I said, well, what are you supposed to do? And he said, well, you're supposed to, we have a big box in the back of our truck. It's a sealed box, and you're supposed to slide the cages in, and then you drop this gas pellet or this gas bomb in there.
You Jew them up.
You gas them. Yeah, you Jew them up.
That's the technical term.
Yeah. He said, that's the way you're supposed to do it. It's a little canister. He said, but those things cost like $35 each.
Yeah.
I said, so what do you do? He goes, well, when it's lunchtime, I eat my lunch in this park down by this little lake, and I just set the cages in the water and drowned them alive.
What a horrible person.
Yeah. He goes, I just set the cages in there.
Fuck you to that guy.
He said, I don't have to see it or anything. He goes, I set the cages in there. The handles are still sticking up. When I'm done eating my lunch, I pick them up. They're dead.
That is creepy.
Isn't that creepy?
I thought he was going to do something normal, like fuck the baby while the mom watches it until the baby dies and then shoot the baby.
Apparently, he doesn't want to spend the $35 on the gas canister. So he just said, I just set him in the water while I'm eating my lunch. I said, that's fucking cruel, dude.
Yeah,
and he goes, I don't have to see it.
That's a psycho move.
You're
putting things in there to die, and then you're just going to eat your turkey sandwich.
To drown.
And probably just stare off into
He said,
the
there's
ether.
a little lake. He said, I just walk out there and set him in like 3 or 4 feet of water where the handle's still sticking up.
What's he do with them after that?
I guess he takes them back to the shop or whatever, and they burn them.
Wouldn't it be great if there was just a fucking lake full of dead raccoons somewhere up in fucking Mount Airy or something? This guy goes to the same one and just lets them in there afterwards.
But I mean, he said it with such a straight face.
Yeah, well, he's a psychopath.
He goes, yeah, I just set the cage in the water.
I don't think normal people usually tend to go towards that career path. You know, the old critter killer. I don't think the critter killer is typically going to be your most normal fella. You know, you're going to deal with the psychos.
Billy had a fun show to watch, though.
I don't know what you're talking about, but
Billy, he's a fucking rock and roll exterminator. He had fucking spiky hair, and he wore like dog collars with spikes and shit on it. But he'll go after any fucking creature.
Where'd this guy come from?
He's in Carolina, I believe, somewhere.
Is it on YouTube or something, or is this like a real thing?
It was a show. It was on Discovery.
Oh, okay.
And then the company broke up. He moved to Washington or something like that, and it says his new episodes are Billy Goes North.
I've seen those crazy snake videos where like there's just like a snake in the middle of the road, and then these like teenager or like young 20 guys will just jump right next to them and go, and then get like bit by it and go, oh, this one got me.
How about the fucking crazy fucker that looks for the most painful stings or bites in the world?
Coyote, whatever.
And then he flies over there to let them sting. Hey, this scorpion here is supposed to hurt so fucking bad that you actually soil your fucking underwear. What is his name?
It's Coyote something or another.
Something Coyote, yeah.
But you know what's funny about him is when he gets stung, he turns total, and I'm sure it hurts, but he turns total bitch, and he almost starts reminding me of Superhuman. I think he's like...
He does turn into a bitch. Oh my God, it hurts so bad!
He's like one step above Superhuman as he like jumps off something on a refrigerator and goes, fuck this shit!
Yeah, that's exactly... Hey, I saw a new one.
They should do one together.
From him the other day. He didn't jump on something.
Peterson? Is that what it is? Coyote Peterson? I don't remember.
It's Coyote something.
Yeah.
But this guy, a Superhuman TV show.
Badass.
This time, he wasn't jumping off a table onto something. Mm-hmm. He was running headfirst into a refrigerator that was standing.
I've seen that. I've seen that one, yeah.
My neck! I'm fucking paralyzed!
I'm going to run this refrigerator. John Moxley style.
You think he makes a lot of money? He's got to have a lot of views.
I don't know. I'm sure he does all right. You wonder, that Hood News guy in Cincinnati shows his views every once in a while, and he'll get like 430 million in a day. You're like, I wonder what that pays.
What is he filming?
He runs up to the camera in like Crocs and in his boxers, goes, "Whoa, Cincinnati, it's rainy over here." It's not that funny. It's kind of corny, but it's fun.
He's making a mix.
He's killing it. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's funny sometimes, but the gimmick has kind of ran its point where he just runs up to the camera in his boots and talks about the weather or some shit like that. And he says fuck a lot. He's hood, but he lives in Amelia. So it's hard. It's a black guy, but still, I shouldn't be questioning this.
Well,
are we getting a fuck you and get out?
Yep.
Is that where we're at?
Yep.
Because I don't got anything else to say.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
All right, fuck you.
My fuck you goes to the Sharonville Police Department. Maybe I shouldn't say the name. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I actually got pulled over the other day on I-75 or 275 by a Sharonville policeman and given a ticket for $61 for not wearing a seatbelt.
Oh, I've got one of those.
I just got in the car. I always wear a seatbelt because my alarm goes off. I just hadn't turned it on yet. $61 that I got to pay.
Yeah.
So if that's not a fuck you, I don't know what is.
No. Is that why that guy killed him?
Who?
I don't know. That guy killed that cop. Was it a ticket?
No, that wasn't because of that.
Oh, that wasn't a ticket?
No, it was something entirely that I really don't remember a whole lot about. Don't want to talk about. Yeah, but fuck that one cop. I told him, I said, I just got on the freeway. I just pulled on from Mosteller Road. And I just got on the freeway, and when it goes off, I forgot my seatbelt. He was right on me. $61.
Yeah, and I haven't thrown a fuck you out to this guy yet this year. Obviously people would think we would do it all the time, but fuck you, Donald Trump. Your tariffs are kind of hitting me. It's kind of hitting me. I don't know about you, but I went to the grocery store yesterday, and what I tell you would be normally about a $300 trip was about $365 or something like that, and it's really hitting auto business. Like, it's hard to get cars now. We're down to one fucking Chevy Trax at my work, and that was like our number one selling car. Now you can't fucking find them because you can't order them because they're made in some other country and the tariff hit it and blah, blah,
that's
blah.
His goal, to get the factories opened up back here.
Yeah, well, it kind of fucks us all in the meantime.
Yeah.
Not that cool, but until next time, fuck you, Trump. You're ruining my day. I'm trying to get into a new business and you're ruining it for me. Usually I don't give a shit, but we'll get over it. Hey, what did you tell me about that Hilton guy?
You can kindly fuck off now. Please subscribe and share. Well, you can kindly fuck off now.